Hello guys, so this is going to be my first tutorial on how I construct the human figure. I don't know if I'll just go with the front shot or if I'll sort of mix it up a bit, but hopefully this will give you some insight to my process. So what I like to do is use a brush which I have created that just lays down a very simple mark. There's no sort of gradient to it or anything, but you can see if you put shapes below you have this sort of overlap, and I think it's very helpful to do this to just get rid of that sort of unnecessary, at least in digital in my opinion, step of constructing the sort of chest cavity and sort of the overall form. There might be some speed up or cuts or whatever, because I'm not so good with this talky business. So anyway, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start out with a male character. So let's get in chest cavity, do the neck. It's looking, so it looks like a very centered, so I'm probably gonna, it's sort of a bit of a tilt here. This is actually not sort of the lower, this is sort of the bottom part of that. I always fill in that little part because it's so nice to have that indentation of sort of the sorry shit man, I get so scatterbrained, but yeah, it's my first tutorial, so I guess you gotta endure it. But yeah, I think they are called obliques. You can see here what I'm doing. Filling down. It has a bit of a upraised stance. I think I'm gonna correct that, and that's really easy by just grabbing that part, making sure the center mass is a little bit more in the center of both feet. Sort of having a bit of a problem here placing the feet. I think this hip action might be a little bit feminine, but I'll make do. It's more of a guide really, so this is turning out quite straightforward here. With need more. See, a lot of this is just feeling out sort of the general male aesthetics for a little bit of a wider chest. I kinda slowly wander down in the center. I guess, I mean, subconsciously, I think I sort of went more more for this sort of demonstration purposes. So I didn't really twist his body that much. There's a little bit twist in the hips, which is, like I said before, probably not really that manly, I guess. Anyways, so what I do next is that I lower the silhouette and I make a new layer on top of that. I'm going to try to use, because I always draw fairly soft, so I'm going to try and use sort of a harsher, more visible brush, so you can sort of see what I'm doing. And here's probably the most important line. It's sort of the center line, which is very helpful when you construct the form. So there's a couple of things going on here which you know, you might not notice, so I'm gonna fill them out, which I'm sort of in my head seeing. That is the landmarks of the sort of the obliques, I think we're going with calling it. The bottom of the pelvis region, and I guess just this tube that we constructed in the silhouette, and we have this overlap, which it will be something like this, I guess. Not really. It looks really weird when you have those cuts, overlaps, when the 3D shape is cut in. But I mean, this part is probably the most accurate. Yeah, sort of the following up. I probably shouldn't paint in red. Maybe I should. Maybe I should paint in red. Maybe I should. Yeah, so I'm basically filling in the chest muscles here. And you can see I sort of made a little bit of a shoulder size here. They sort of tuck in and attach to the rib along the neck. It's sort of important to attach them like that. And it's so you sort of get space in here between the actual muscle and the rib, and on some people it can be quite visible, and let's make this connection a little bit more accurate, because it's more something like that. And you can sort of feel going along in here the connection. It goes down there. The bicep connects right under there. A little bit of a skinny guy here. Buffing up a bit. You see, I change my lines a lot, which I have laid down. sort of you can see, maybe we can get a little bit more form out of this. You can see the center line slowly, it's a really narrow, what is it, a subtle sort of bend to it. I sort of use that to create some form. And from behind, on the back side, we actually have a big sort of cave connecting. We can sort of hint at that, being a little bit yeah, just a little bit of an indication. Maybe show sort of the armpit that it disconnects there. I'm gonna have muscles running down here. It's something I really like to do, sort of above the obliques. I like to connect the mid muscle, and you put two and then one small at top. Usually gets makes it look fairly human, I guess. Need to round out this because it sits upon I'm probably gonna have to do this, re-record the audio and speed some of this up. Maybe we can remove this now. It's not that necessary to still have there. Anyway, so some people, we get sort of a little bit indentation of the skeleton. And we have, God damn it. Well, this is just the nature of this tutorial, I guess. This is the first one. Why? Anyways, let's get back to this. Now, there's a sort of this sort of bone structure. I'm giving it a little bit of a 3D view here. And it's really these parts, these eyes, I guess we can call them, are connected here. Remember that. A big ugly sort of mutated monster. See, this is the problem with me. Start drawing that. That should be more forward. Anyways, I think you sort of get what I'm saying. It's the small muscle you get there, and it actually connects down like this to those little arms that I put on the monster, I guess you could say. And then we have the buttocks in the background, and they're only slightly being shown here. And because I gave in this weird pose, I have no idea why I sort of made myself do it, because somewhere in my mind I wanted to sort of give some shape to the character, but then half-assed it quite badly. Anyways, and you have another connection here reaching over, like sort of, there's plenty of sort of these tendons keeping the body connected, and that's really vague description of what it does, but basically we have a few connections, like we have connections missing here, and it's sort of like this whole bag that's being pinched, which is sort of like a rhythm when you add them up. You have the character with the pinches here, pinches there, and they go over, and that's another bag there, oh, another bag there, you know, there's plenty of them. Then we have a little bit of bone. It's just like a very cool machine, I would sort of describe it as. So for knees, I like to hint at the kneecap. It's sort of like a knuckle almost coming up from under the foot. There's some, you can see the bone here. I mean, this is fairly simple what I'm doing now, the sort of the bone. I can even go further, sort of hint at that little bump you have on the inside of the bone, but here it sort of trails off and becomes first ligaments, which is actually an sort of connects and holds the body in sort of action here on the side. And I probably gonna have to do more views. And you have ligaments connecting like this. You can see I'm tucking it in behind this connector here. It might be, I should just do it a little bit more, give it a little bit more of a harsh rendering. And sort of the legs connector, I wish I had more space with my keyboard here. It's a perfect storm, I'm telling you. I'm gonna sort of chop off a bit of his butt there anyways, and hint at that bump here instead. Anyways, so the other leg here, I think it's like this kind of, if you want sort of a visual reminder for where to place the bumps. Yes, really thick underlegs. Or really small legs. I'm trying to do sort of a realistic character, which is kind of hard. It's almost always best to use sort of reference when you try. Sorry, burps. Try to do sort of realistic characters. Which, I mean, I still think when I do this, my characters sort of come out fairly cartoony. I mean, sort of, the bodies mostly mimics, I think, is what gets close, but if there's a sort of a dorky, bit of a dorky head, I guess, like not it didn't really connect back to in a way that follows. You can see it overlaps a bit. He sort of bent his body and puffed out his chest. So we're gonna get a little bit of the arm hidden here. I have some connectors we could add. You can see it's almost like if you ever seen like rope. No, that kind of rope they have on ships, I guess. There's all these sort of ropes. Ropes come back and then it sort of unfurls, get tucked under. Correct that a bit. Gets connected under here, but instead it's the muscles doesn't really show up completely like that, because the body fat sort of hides sort of the creases of the muscles to a certain degree. Now we can add some abs here. It's probably the least important thing I can do right now, but why not? So we can have some indication of the really the lower mass of the abs, which isn't to say that he's fat or anything, but they tend to be let's have the final ab here. Has the six-pack. It's almost double up there. Like these are connecting to the top of the rib cage, so it should almost be a little bit lower here. Almost a little bit too high, but I'm gonna keep it as it is. Anyways, back to the connectors. Sort of rope-like things. Sort of goes around the arm here. Just sort of going with it. Connects here, and that little bump we have arms, and there's a sort of a side muscle there that's really hard to see from this angle. I'm hinting at. That's probably the biggest problem with just that's sort of why I wanted to sort of do more of a dynamic, but if I went in and made sort of a more dynamic pose, like there's only so much muscles I can show from any angle. I mean, there are gonna be places where it's not just visible, so I'll try my best. Sort of had a bit trouble there with seeing in which direction the muscles were flowing there. A little bit backside there. This arm is a little bit too small, and this arm is a little bit too short. That's probably the biggest problem with this technique. Can be really hard to gauge sort of the distance for the muscles. Keep that bulkiness. Should basically align roughly with the what's this called? That hole on the stomach. English is not my first language. I don't know what it's called. The tummy hole. But since he sort of is arching back a bit, if we look at him, sort of had this weird butt stance. Where his back is a little bit arched. So sort of warps it a bit. I'm sort of keeping that in mind where I place things. And that bone on the side there. You can see sort of some of the patterns that just exist in the body. There's connections to here, that goes over there, I can spin over there, because it's all underlying muscle structure. Maybe I should give him hands. Might be a problem. Give him some stubby little hands. Hint at the back finger, and that's one stubby thumb. Let's raise it up a bit there. Okay, I'm fine with that. Lower arm is too long. Let's make those muscles a bit clearer. Add a connection there. This is our esophagus, I think it's called. The neck. I don't know, should we finish the other leg? I guess we should. It's sort of it's taking a bit of the behind. Area here. I'm not completely following my silhouettes right now. You can see how I'm just twisting some of the ideas around to get this knee sort of a little bit tilted out. Bit of a construct here. Something I like to do sometimes, that I add sort of a band around the form. Like his arm is fugly. Arm is fugly here. Can maybe add sort of this construct. And it's not that bad, I guess. You know. You know. I really want that. I really want to hint at that muscle back there. That's behind sort of the side of the tricep there. And this really connects more in a simpler way here. Okie dokie. So down to the feet. Yeah, it's a little bit of a badonky-donk, if you know what I mean. Getting that rump out. Anyways, this probably, maybe I should upload this just as it is, just to show like it's all sort of part of the process, I guess. Yes, it's figuring things out little by little. So we can add some feet, which I like to do, like sort of a, for some reason I like to begin with the toe and then the rest of the toes. A big mass here, sort of a construct we've been talking about. Giving him nasty baby feet, I guess, for some reason. You can hint at the back of the foot there, sort of remove our mistakes. Well, this is probably something I should check up on. Which side are the heel on? I think it's higher on the inside, perhaps. That looks so weird. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, tiny baby feet, that's no problem. We can just scale that baby up. Do a bit of tilt. Plant the heel. Bridge together again. Since it's the inside of the foot, sort of have to we can raise it up a bit, because it's only on the outside, it's really close to the ground, if that makes sense. So that's I guess the end of that. I should probably just close this off. Stop trying to detail the area. For some reason I tried to do that to like a square or something. Anyways, so we can draw a hand on this side as well. Keeping in mind sort of the other side, and can bunch together middle fingers into one form, and just sort of, oh, that didn't work because that finger looked weird. Could benefit from more of an angle, more of sort of more confident, I guess, lines. I can slim this guy down because it's big. Indicate sort of the backside there of the muscle, sort of the connector here. Indicate that a bit. I'm not gonna fill in the face. I don't think I'll be here forever if I do that. Some basic face thing. Sometimes it looks just so weird when you fill in sort of the mouth instead of just hinting at it. Sort of refine. Sorry if I'm quiet when I'm doing this. That's probably, I do enjoy doing these. It's fun, but it's also very sort of hypnotic in a way. You just sort of do it and don't really think too much about it. It was a little bit too little head space here. And that's another way those silhouettes really help out. keeping you on sort of model. Like I said, I'm not gonna sort of talk much about faces in this, maybe another time. You see how stilted the pose is now. It's pretty stilted. No, it's almost like we can just do this. What? And he looks like he's in a really strange pose. Maybe I can sort of fix that in later tutorials, really commit to something instead of saying maybe do a sort of a pose thing but then don't do it. No, really more. Yeah. Anyways, that's sort of a muscly guy, I guess. And how I draw them. So I guess I can increase contrast a bit. Oh, that's ugly. Holy shit, the lines are really ugly. Anyways, yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for watching.